Hi, Amanda Markham here with another episode of the Markham Sold Show. I am so excited today. We have one of my most favorite home inspectors ever. This is Tim Fifield with Affordable Home Inspections out of Richmond, and we are going to get the most detailed questions answered that you've always wondered about a home inspection. Hey Tim, thank you so much for being with us today. I've got a few questions for us and he's got so much awesome detail. I'm really excited to get all of our current buyers and our future buyers the burning questions about home inspections. So when a buyer is gonna buy a house, why do you think is the most important reason, or the most couple important reasons to get a home inspection and make it contingent on that?
Well, the most important thing here, Amanda, is the fact that it is your contingency. It is something that when you go into your home prior to closing, you should know the conditions of any major defects, any safety defects or minor defects, things that need to be addressed prior to closing. And unless you have a home inspection, you have no way of knowing these things.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads me into it. Now, what are some of the things, or most of the things that you do look at? Because you're here for, when you do a home inspection, you're here for like 3+ hours, depending on the size of the house. So what all do you do?
It is time consuming. Well, first thing you need to understand is home inspectors have two standards of practice that they can follow. One is called INTRNASHI, the other one is called ASHI. They both kind of mirror one another.
Okay.
However, in the standard of practice, and I recommend anybody who's buying a home that is going to have a home inspection, you can pull up the standard of practice online and review it if you'd like.
But that's probably a lengthy legal document.
No, it's really not.
It's
probably a 3-page short bullet item type list that tells you what home inspectors do and do not do.
Oh.
But
we'll put a link on this video for that document because I've actually never looked at it myself. So we'll let you know that. We'll send that.
Well, that's the standard practice. I follow INTRNASHI.
Okay.
And what we do is we'll follow, for example, you start off with your foundation.
Okay.
We're going to go through crawl spaces. We're going to look at the foundation structure, which includes things such as floor joists, seal plates, the condition of the crawl space environment itself, moisture, that sort of thing. Then you go into other bigger systems such as plumbing. You're going to look for any plumbing leaks that you may have. You're going to take a look at your electrical systems, go along and check electrical circuits. Look for safety items especially. You want to make sure things like ground fault circuit interrupters function properly. Yep, that's a GFCI.
Heard about those a lot. We can do a whole show on that. No, I'm just kidding.
Another safety item might be your jacuzzi tub. Is it hooked up to a GFCI for that sort of
safety
protection?
purposes? Gotcha.
Correct. After that, we've got our attics. You want to go through, and of course, you're always looking for evidence of water leaks.
Okay.
Whether you're in the house looking at ceilings, and lots of times I like to start by looking at my ceilings, which helps tell me where to go focus up above.
And now you've got like a moisture meter gun thing.
We have a moisture meter. One is in which it comes in contact with moisture, very sensitive. Also have an infrared camera, which also if it's leaking currently, then it will show it. Now, if it hasn't rained for a couple of weeks, it's just going to be a dry stain. That's all it's going to be, and these meters don't help you out at all.
Okay.
But however, once you go up into the attic, we look for evidence of moisture, water damage. We also look at it structurally because some homeowners go in and they want to add a little attic storage. So they'll cut out a couple trusses. Well, these things are designed to take the snow load. So we don't want that kind of damage to occur.
That makes sense, yeah.
We also look for ventilation in the attic. I know it's not something that homes or realtors like, but bathrooms do vent sometimes into the attic, and they should be vented outside.
That's why they put that into code.
The other thing is ventilation is not only moisture, but things such as your gas furnace.
Yes.
We have found those where they've come disconnected and you're pouring carbon monoxide into your attic. Things like this is what you want to avoid.
And insulation, you make sure there's plenty of insulation.
Plenty of insulation. Let you know the depth of the insulation. We let you know the type of insulation you have.
That's cool.
Then when we do the on-roof inspection, even though home inspectors are not required to, my level of expectation is if I can walk on it, I'm going there.
And he does a really good majority of the time. That's why he's here.
But I will tell you that there are some roofs that are so steep that it's not possible. And if you can't get up there, we use a 4K camera.
Okay, you have a drone?
We take a drone up there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, because
snap
not a lot of home inspectors do that. I know you might know what other people do, but a lot of them just stand on the ground with binoculars. And I think getting up there with the drone, I've seen his drone pictures before on certain, actually I'm thinking about a commercial property that you literally couldn't get onto. It was really helpful.
They're very helpful. Other things we look at up there is, of course, all your roof penetrations. Most common leak, of course, is just our sewer vent boots.
Yep.
Very common item to find.
And those are all the time. They're so easy. They're like, what, $15 or something at Lowe's? And
yes, you can replace them. You can have one that just slips right over the top. I mean, it's a very simple fix, but it also can be very destructive if you let it leak for a long period of time.
It gets that wood underneath wet, and then everything else.
The sheeting, everything starts to decay.
Yeah.
Another item we look at when we're up on top of the roof is, of course, if you have a chimney. Sometimes you can't see from the ground, but you want to make sure that you've got a chimney cap and a chimney screen. And then we look at the condition of the brick, and then we need to look at the flashing around the chimney to see what kind of condition that is in. Gutters, another key point. You might not think it's very important to clean out the gutters, but once you get into a foundation and you start to see where water is trying to push its way through, lots of times it's related to either downspouts or gutters.
Yeah, they're leaking, they've pulled away, they're clogged, they just terminate right there, and they need to be over there. Yeah, very common. Lots of easy fixes to avoid, or somewhat easy fixes to avoid, serious stuff later on as a homeowner. And that was going to kind of get, well, what else were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, with all these items, what we do is we photograph these as we go. We want to put a nice picture in front of you. I mean, a picture tells a million words. So what we want to do is share it with you so you can see it. And those will be included in our report, along with the summary page. When we're going through doing other testing, an example would be plumbing. It is a habit to come in and turn all the plumbing on in a home. Let it run for a good long period of time before I go into your crawl space. I want to see if there's any leaks that you're unaware of, maybe under the shower. It's surprising how many homeowners are unaware of something that's going on under their house because it's silent and it's quiet, they don't know it, and it's not affecting them here in the home. But we do find a lot of leaks in crawl spaces.
You fill up all the tubs, fill up all the sinks, make sure they hold the water like they're supposed to. And
and
don't leak.
Once we finish up and we're going around turning the water off, we check under our sinks to see if there's any evidence of any leaks there also. Another system that we check is your heating and cooling. Now with heating and cooling, there are a variety of systems. You normally either have here in Kentucky a heat pump or a gas furnace, or the two most common in Central.
Yeah, in Madison County, electric systems are the most common.
Yes.
But I know as close as like Fayette County, they have, if you can connect to natural gas furnaces are a lot more prevalent.
A little more. The further north we push, the more gas systems you see.
Probably weather, maybe.
It is. And the further south you go, the more heat pumps you see. However, a heat pump is just a recirculating freon system, so we can test it summer or winter, but it just depends on which system we're going to check.
Gotcha.
And what I mean by that is if it's below 60 degrees, I'll do the heating side. If it's above 60, I'll normally do the cooling side. It's just a freon system that circulates, and it has the ability to change the temperature by about 20 degrees. So if I'm in a heating mode, it flows one way, but if I switch it to the cooling mode, it just has a reversing valve and it just flows the opposite direction, which allows me to get about a 20-degree differential.
Which is what it's supposed to have?
Well, there's not an exact standard, but I'll tell you that if it's below 15 degrees differential, it's struggling to get there. Or if I've run it for a period of time and it can't keep up in the heat mode and I see the auxiliary kicking on regularly, I'm going to recommend that you have an HVAC technician come in and take a look at it. Now what buyers need to be aware of is home inspectors are not licensed in every career. I'm not a licensed HVAC guy.
I had no idea.
I am not a licensed electrician or licensed plumber. In order to work on these things, you do need to be licensed on them. So we're only allowed to test them, identify it, and then point you in the right direction to get a licensed individual in here to check out that system.
Absolutely, and so that's kind of like and we were talking about this, is like the mindset of a buyer going in is that you aren't a licensed all those specific things. You're a licensed general home inspector who knows a lot more than just Bob off the street here, and a lot more. So you're going to give a really good general overview, and he might recommend, you know, this isn't quite working, or doesn't quite look like it should. So let's get someone who's a professional in that specific area to double check and make sure if this is a concern of yours. If you got a good price on the house and you knew that the HVAC was 20 years old and that's okay with you, then that's okay. It's case by case, but at least you get a really good general overview with a really detailed report and pictures that you typically get back that night.
Yes,
correct?
I always have my reports out by 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I don't like to get behind. Yeah, you've got to stay up on it.
Yeah.
As soon as I leave here, I normally head for the office and start working on the report.
And get them done for that day.
And I use a service called ISN, which is kind of nice. It allows my clients to, well, they can sign our agreement online. They can actually make payment online if they want. And their report is available on that link for a year.
Oh, okay.
So it's a PDF report. They can download it, save it on their computer.
Yeah.
Or they just, get back on and pull up that link and grab their report anytime for a year.
Awesome.
And then we also send a copy to the realtor if we have their permission.
Yes, yeah, and we will then print it and provide it to our clients, and we keep it in our electronic system for our clients forever too. And I can't tell you how many houses I've sold back in the day, and Tim did the inspection, and we pull back up the report, and I'm like, now, all these things, we had the seller do these, did you do the rest yet? And if not, we put it in the disclosure. So do you have anything else? Oh, I don't know if we mentioned, but you do check the appliances, which
Yes.
I think is huge.
Well, there are some things at what we call a level of expectation. Even though they're not in my standard of practice, we are going to come through and check some things that are not required. Even getting on the roof's not required, but I want to check your stove. I want to check your dishwasher. I want to check your built-in microwaves. Now, with all that being said, there are a couple things that I do exclude.
Okay.
Like a washer and dryer.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if they're coming or going. Lots of times things like this don't.
Yeah.
Or, countertop microwaves. That sort of stuff we do not check.
Okay.
But the things that normally stay that are built in, by all means. I want to check all them garbage disposals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jacuzzi tubs. Things that are not checked in addition to that are like swimming pools.
Yes, correct.
There really is no
irrigation systems.
Irrigation systems.
Security
Your
systems.
septic. Now, I get this question a lot.
Yeah.
Should I, do you inspect septic? Well, we don't bring a shovel. We don't come dig up the system.
You got a lot of tools, just not a shovel.
But with that being said, I will recommend that if you're not aware of the condition of your septic tank, it's not very expensive. It's typically $150 to $200 to have a company come in and just clean out your septic tank. That way you're starting fresh.
Yeah.
And that way you know what you put in it. To keep the greases out and improper materials.
Yeah.
And normally that's what we recommend.
Okay, good. So do we. So thank you so much. This was
thank you.
Very, very, very helpful. You have no idea. I'm really excited to share this with everyone. And we really appreciate all your hard work you do for our amazing clients. Thank you so much.
Thanks.